In this video, we will feature some of Emma Stone's most powerful quotes that will motivate you to live your best life. The words of Emma Stone will motivate you to be the greatest version of yourself, whether it's via her tips for managing anxiety or her understanding of the value of self-care. So take a seat back, relax, and prepare to be motivated by some of Emma Stone's most inspiring words. Let's go! I attended a public school while growing up in Arizona, and the only information I knew about the civil rights movement was what happened to Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. How much does my generation know? I'm curious, as the conclusion is my favorite part of movies. All of my favorites have fantastic endings. From being 15 and in high school to working is undoubtedly a shock. There isn't really a cushion there. There is absolutely no planning. Practice makes perfect. When I was a teenager, I often sprayed tan. I most recently had spray tan at the Golden Globes. I was thinking, I adore spray tanning so much at that point. Even now, I truly enjoy it, but beyond a certain point, it does make me appear like I have leprosy. My sport was stand-up. I learned how to roll with the punches thanks to it. I am emotionally drained if I have strong feelings about anything. I used to have pretty terrible anxiety, but I don't really experience panic episodes anymore. The way actors act doesn't really change depending on the genre. I've never felt like a nerd. Makeup should be enjoyable. I no longer do it since it is more distracting than anything. I'd want to develop concepts, work with talented actors, directors, and writers, and contribute to films that have the same theme as those that had an influence on me. The Beatles movie Help is the only one I can watch continuously on repeat. It has always been my line of defense. When you initially arrive to premieres and award ceremonies, you may ask yourself, how the heck did I get here? It's awesome that so many individuals I've never met are here. I'm my own worst enemy and can be my own worst critic, and I'm working extremely hard to avoid being either of those things. You also perform comedies and drama. After 6th grade, I stopped going to school and was essentially homeschooled. Either you love it or you loathe it. At that point, I realized that people are narrow-minded. The parts that have entered my life have taught me, and at the time, maybe I didn't even realize it, but whatever issues or ideas you had to communicate at the time have been to my advantage in some manner. That's the viewpoint I've chosen. According to a friend of mine, parts come your way when you need them most. I relocated to Los Angeles in January 2004. It was known as Project Hollywood 2004, and it was successful. This is definitely something I need to remember. Yet, I believe that being honest with others, being true to yourself, being safe, and taking care of yourself are more important. Whoa, the actress portraying this role looks fantastic. I begin to think. I often remark that it would have been wonderful if I had been born musically inclined. It is just so awesome. I believe that Saturday Night Live, which debuted in the 1970s, gave women a platform for humor. I gained confidence in my ability to speak clearly, maintain a conversation, take chances, and even relish failure. Indeed, the only real paranoia I have is a tiny bit of it. I cleansed. There are so many things that intrigue me that I never learned about in high school. And I'm intrigued due to the fact that I never took biology in high school. I like seeming human. Well, I'm the last one to inquire about education. Well, I've discovered a lot about myself not just through acting, but also through work ethic and intriguing things like full-page monologues or talking directly into the camera, which I had never had the opportunity to do before. They nonetheless supported me and allowed me to be who I was. Are aware of how teamwork, strength, bravery, and confidence are taught to children via sports? My sport was improv. I really want Josh Grogan to pop the question to me, but he simply won't. That completely pulls me away from the movie. I was really anxious as a youngster. Sometimes my life is PG-13. They presumably choose to pass away. I mean, I have opinions, and as I've seen more gowns or outfits over time, it's been easier for me to say, I like that or I don't like that, but it's nothing I would ever, create. Yet I live my life just as I do. Like how changing your hair color alters everything. I believe that ladies should wear whatever cosmetics they desire. I love music a lot. I put it aside. I'm very bad at action movies. I just colored my hair dark brown one day in an effort to stand out, and a week later I landed my first part. I was a handsome young man. I've never had a role where I thought it would be advantageous to start from the outside in. I have no idea where this boisterous, fearless, and absurdity came from. They have always shown a great deal of understanding toward me and my goals. It doesn't stop. I had a little agoraphobia from the age of 8 to 10. My mother, my brother, and I would spend 2 months at the beach to escape the heat since Arizona is the worst location to spend the summer because the temperature there is about 125 degrees. At 12, I kind of slipped out before all that might have occurred. I sometimes feel that people approach me because they believe I resemble my easier persona or because they have seen me in interviews, while in reality they are fans of a certain film or character. I used to perform at a nearby youth theater because I have always loved acting, improv, sketch comedy, and theater. I just live my life as I would live in general. I created this PowerPoint presentation when I was 14 years old, brought my parents to my room, and served them popcorn. I'd want to be able to help individuals in that way. I can't assume that everyone has watched The House Rabbit. Oh God, drama makes me anxious. I want to create. I don't want to exercise in that manner. We didn't really have a plan when I hauled my mother to Los Angeles. To be honest, there must be many soulmates out there. I was unable to leave my mother's side. When women women are portraying professors in movies and have biceps. That irritates me to no end. Since I was about 5 years old, I've simply been a ham. My parents are both incredibly amusing, but unlike me, they are both really reserved, everyday people. It's wonderful, hilarious, and irreverent. I was simply annoying and noisy. I was never really humorous. Being on stage or acting in a movie is the last thing my parents would want to do. Usually, I can tell after the first 10 pages. Many of those women, including Kristen Wiig right now, Tina Fey, and Gilda Radner, went on to have successful film careers. We visited a facility in San Diego and were studying biology for The Amazing Spider-Man since Gwen is a scientist. I was really fortunate to have the parents I had. I am now stating on camera that I am experiencing severe internal humiliation. I had a trainer while filming Spider-Man, and I learned that when I'm lifting large weights above my head, I get extremely angry. I wanted to work as a journalist for Rolling Stone after the Beatles altered everything for me. The significance of being honest with your friends and parents, if you can be, is perhaps the most essential thing I think. Petra Flannery, who serves as my stylist, has excellent taste. By no means am I a saint or an angel, for example. Generally speaking, I am anxious before print interviews because I am aware that everything I say will be seen through the eyes of the person I'm speaking to. My fave is him. All of his films were written, produced, acted in, and cast by him. Can you picture it? When I speak about Charlie Chaplin, I feel quite enthusiastic. I don't look back with any regrets. That couldn't have gone any better, in my opinion. I'm not particularly tech savvy. For me, laughing is easier than crying. Right now, I'm really harsh on myself. Any repressed anger I possess expresses itself in this way. It's exciting for me to work on projects when there isn't anything humorous or lighter because, for me, laughing often helps to ease the discomfort of a situation. I mean, I've only been here a short while. It is not at all who I am. In a Cameron Crowe-like, almost spectatorial manner, I'm a huge music enthusiast. Then, as time passes, it starts to seem more and more like work. Obviously, you should take care of yourself and be healthy. But when I was growing up, I saw folks who had terrible problems with eating. But I don't believe I've done a good job of masking some aspects of my personality.